Hey everyone, welcome back to another Crime Couples episode. Today we're going to be looking at Patrice Endres. She was 38 when she disappeared from her salon in midday. She was later found 600 days later. We are going to be looking over the investigation process of this and what led up to this happening.
So Patrice Endres disappeared April 15, 2004 in Forsyth County, Georgia. She had owned a salon called Chambers Trim and Tan, and that was in Cummings, Georgia. Patrice had a son. His name was Pistol Black, and he was in 10th grade when she disappeared. All accounts say that they were very close. She attended every football game, was always there to be his number one fan. She was also married to a gentleman named Rob Endress on March 2nd, 1997. He was 20 years her senior at this time, and he was described as being very jealous, very possessive. Everyone said this, from relationships with her son to relationships with her friends. So he seemed very overbearing and just controlling of the whole situation. Rob and Pistol, this is Rob's account, he said they got along really well in the first year. And after that, he did a 180 and completely changed how he treated Pistol. Pistol said he'd be in his room with his friends and Rob would walk by and shoot like snide or rude comments just under his breath. He didn't really treat him like a stepson, like you should if you're married into a relationship and you love the person you're with. You need to treat their family how you would treat your own. And he did not do that. So Patrice's friends stated that the farther they got into their marriage, she started letting them know she was unhappy with the marriage. And on Unsolved Mysteries, Rob states that they never fought or, they had a perfect marriage. It was his best days. And it just seems kind of contradictory because Pistol gives different accounts to, the story and how Rob treated him and Patrice. So along with Rob being kind of like a weird and bizarre guy, he had made a comment to the investigators that he understands, the process, that, you got to question the husband first. And he went along with all the investigation, but he just didn't seem too bothered by the situation. His report was he was on his way to work, he stopped and got gas, and he was 45 minutes away. So he kind of made himself an alibi, is what we think, just placing him 45 minutes away, not able to kill Patrice.
So about 2 weeks prior to Patrice disappearing, she was with her son Pistol, and she had asked him, if something were to happen to me, what would you do? And he said in the interview that, it didn't really bring up anything right away for him. He didn't think of it being too weird, just kind of like an off-the-wall question. And he said, I don't know, I guess I'd probably go stay with my dad. Now, her ex, so Pistol's father, his name is John Black. Him and Patrice were still really good friends because they both shared a very good love for their son. And so that kept them very close throughout their years, even though they weren't together.
So now we're going to talk about the day of the disappearance, and this research was done by some blogs and some internet and also the Unsolved Mysteries episode. So the morning of her disappearance was just like any other morning. She did have a guest, Pam Shepard. She arrived at 8:50 for a 9 o'clock appointment. And during that, Pam said she wasn't really like herself. She seemed distracted. And she said that wasn't like Patrice. But, she didn't pry. She stayed at the salon for a little bit and she left around 11 o'clock. Yeah. So next, Pam leaves, and then Paul Cantor, who is the second guest of the day, he came to get a haircut, and he left at 11:27. And while he was leaving, he got a telephone call, and this is important because law enforcement is able to make a timestamp of that is when Patrice was still there. He got a phone call, so that started the time frame. Then a customer called at 11:35. She picked up the phone. She seemed distracted again and very short, and that customer wanted to change the time of her appointment. So Patrice took care of that and then abruptly ended the phone call. The next call came in at 11:50, and Patrice did not answer. Law enforcement says this gives a 13-minute time frame for something to happen to Patrice. There were two different witness accounts. One of the women's name was Tammy Fincher, I believe. They both said the same thing, separate from each other. So they said 11:45, there was a blue vehicle. Some accounts were, it was a blue Lumina.
Chevy Lumina. Or a Ford Taurus.
Yeah, with, they said the Wildlife Georgia tags, or a Ford Taurus. So they had noticed that there were two people. Some accounts say it was a woman with shoulder-length dark hair, or there was another gentleman who said it was a man. But there was an older woman with this person, and it appeared they were interacting somehow. Either the old lady was getting up because she had fallen, or she was being pushed down. So they were driving by and just noticed this happening. Okay, and they also noticed Patrice parked in the same spot every day. She was a creature of habit. So her vehicle is normally, if you're looking at the salon, to the left of the salon, and she would go in the side door. At this time, at 11:45, her car was parked out front of the salon, like another vehicle was there to get a jump, is what people had thought. So after hearing these accounts, the police officers said that they would have been the last people to see Patrice alive. So they decided to call the police department. They showed up, and when the cops got there, they said nothing was amiss.
So when the police did arrive to the scene at the salon, they went ahead and started looking, obviously, to see what had happened, see if they could find Patrice. When they entered the salon, they found that everything looked pretty normal. There was no overturned furniture, no sign of like a struggle or anything happened inside. Things were still neat and put away like they should be, like they normally would be in her salon. The only thing they did notice, the cash register was open. There was money missing out of it. And then her lunch was out, like she was getting ready to heat it up by the microwave, kind of just left. So that was the only thing that was kind of out of the ordinary, and obviously no Patrice. They were not able to find anything or any evidence of where Patrice was or what may have happened to her.
With Pistol's mother missing, he was 15 at the time. So, I mean, he has nowhere to go. He lives with his mother still. His dad is there, but I heard his dad was in and out of prison. Rob, her husband, decided to change the locks on the doors.
The day?
24 hours. Yeah. So it was within 24 hours, he said, you need to go somewhere else so that you're safe. Like, I don't know what that means. Like, he's 15, you're kicking him out. He wasn't allowed to get his belongings or anything of his mother's. So he was kicked out. This is just one of the many odd and bizarre things Rob did following her disappearance.
And it was like mean. It was like he was like really mean about it.
Right.
Like the day
said,
after his mother went missing.
I didn't see him going anywhere in life.
Yeah. He locks the door. Pistol said he was banging on the door. Wouldn't come to answer the door. Couldn't even get his clothes.
Right. And I understand if it's your stepchild or even your child. Like, my child drives me insane sometimes. If I would think that if I married Harrison and he had a stepdaughter or a stepson, he would want me to treat that child like my own. And I would try to the best of my ability. And even if I didn't care for the child, there's still a child You know, they don't know any better and they can't support themselves. He was still in high school.
15.
Yeah. So on December 6th, 2005, exactly 600 days following her disappearance, some volunteers were in Dawson County, about 10 miles away from her salon, and they noticed buzzards flying in the air, and they kind of joked around. They're like, we're going to go see what that is. So they went in the forest, in the woods, and they found a deer carcass. So they're like, okay, that's what the buzzards are from. And one of the men actually stumbled upon what appeared to be a human skull.
So after the skull was found, police investigators were called out to the scene, and they did confirm finding Patrice's remains out in the woods. There are about 206 bones in the human body, and they said, just short of that. So pretty much just all of her.
So, who killed Patrice?
So while the investigation was going on, they actually had 2 murderers come forward and say that they were both responsible, or, in each count, responsible for the death of Patrice. One's name was Gary Hilton, and the other name was Jeremy Jones. So they went ahead, listened to their stories, took down the investigation. Once the police did their full investigation, it ended up that I think both of them recanted it.
Right.
But they couldn't find anything linking or not linking them to the murder.
So they're still suspects.
They are still suspects. They just haven't found anything of what they said, even though it was, relative to what was going on.
And they had quite a bit of
good information.
Yes, that kind of went along with what the police found. But like Harrison said, they couldn't find anything definitive.
No linking evidence.
She's been out there for 600 days. You have bones to work with. You don't have any soft tissue. You don't have anything. And the bones didn't appear to be beat or battered or, anything of that nature. So, this investigation, you really don't have a lot of, hard evidence showing how she died. Okay, so the next person who we all think did it, Rob. Okay, so right off the bat, the guy's a little weird, okay? He didn't get along with Pistol. He was so possessive over Patrice. If you see photos that we're going to put up, he's seen hugging her and all around her. He just basically controlled everything. And I'm not sure how true this is, but there was a Facebook message from a person in the Endress family saying that Rob said he met her driving by. He needed a haircut. He's bald. He doesn't have hair. Anyway, but this family member said that Patrice was a stripper and he met her at the strip club. And you know what? No shame in that. That's her job, whatnot. But why is he lying? Why wouldn't he just tell the story truthfully how it was? People say that he has a degree in lying. He knows how to lie. He knows what to say. And, I don't think after watching Unsolved Mysteries that his emotions seem genuine. And that's just my opinion. I don't know what y'all have to say, but he appeared very weird and just saying all the right things. So when they found Patrice's body, he requested that the funeral home lay her body out like a skeleton. He wanted to be left alone with her, and he was walking around with her skull. And then, I understand you lost your loved one and you want to pay your respects, but he picked it up and was kissing it and holding it. And
he said he just wanted to be left alone with her skeleton. And he said, that was the last time I saw her
anywhere close to being intact.
Well, anywhere close to being intact? What? It just seems kind of crazy.
Yeah. So after she got cremated, another bizarre thing he did was he had her remains in a tin and then in a cardboard box. He said he slept with this box like a teddy bear for a year. And on the Unsolved Mysteries, I saw the box, you saw the box. It was not banged up. I roll
He was
around
like-
in my sleep.
He's like, look at it. You can see it's all kind of messed up from, you know,
No, it
use.
was not. No.
It was hidden in the closet,
Exactly.
never opened. He opened it on camera.
Yeah, he just, this guy, all written on his face and written in his actions. I do not like this guy at all. But investigators, you know, seem to believe what he says. They thought he was genuine. And again, they're back to, we can't rule him in, we can't rule him out, which is so mind-boggling to me because in this year, we're so known for all of our technology. How do we not know how to treat corpses and find the answers to how people died? So again, Rob's alibi was he lived 45 minutes, or was at work 45 minutes away. He had a timestamp receipt. So, I mean, I'm saying this guy's a smart guy. He's manipulative. He could have went to this gas station and had someone take her, you know, pull up, take her, and then he dealt with her afterwards, or the person that took her dealt with her. So it's just, they were saying all this stuff about murder for hire, or if he did it, or, you know, the odds of her being involved in a just drop of the hat murder, it's not common for the person not to know their killer.
And I'm sorry, man.
Go ahead.
I would say one of the other really weird consistencies that we notice about Rob, from listening and watching the Unsolved Mystery to hearing another account of another person in the family, is he made a remark saying, what would be my motive? Would it be, you know, for life insurance, for money? She's 38. Why would she need life insurance? Now it's a slick thing to say. Why would she need life insurance, right? Because she's younger, she's not going to need it. But he didn't say she didn't. And another family that we saw, don't know how factual it is, said that they did in fact have life insurance on her. And they weren't sure who the policy was through. But, you know, it's another inconsistency in the possible lie that he said.
Right. The murder of Patrice Endres is still being investigated. Someone out there knows something. So if you know anything about a blue vehicle, or you live in that town, or have anything to add, do contact the FBI and the local police department in that area.
I believe you can also go to unsolved.com, and they provide links that you can submit. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate all the support and continuing on. Don't forget, if you like these videos, if you like these reporting that we're trying to bring to you, you have to like it, you have to subscribe, and comment for other cases you might want to see, or just comment to interact with us. We would love that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye.